It's time to return to the mansion for some more password. Now, if you didn't make it the end of the last video, after we reached the bad end, I took time back. So that means Dave can try day 6 over again. Only this time, maybe he knows the password. I was in that state of consciousness that was somewhere between sleeping and being awake. God knows how early it was. I would have rolled over to check my phone, but I was that out of it still. I buried my head into my pillow to try and get more sleep. Something was nagging at me, and the more I thought about it, the more I noticed the pit in my stomach growing. After tossing and turning, I made my way down to the vault. Combined with the gut feeling I had, something was drawing me to the keypad next to the door. There was a moment's pause before the LED panel flashed vividly. Almost immediately I felt something grip my chest, a tightening sensation that made it hard to breathe. I could hear my heart beating hard and fast in my chest as something like a memory flashed across the forefront of my mind. I gasped out a breath, and as soon as I had been given enough of a reprieve for air, the tightening came back full force. I fell to my knees, clutching my chest. The pain spiked once more before fading away to nothing, as if it was never there to begin with. What? What the hell? I looked towards the input panel and gulped, wondering if it had somehow drugged me just by touching it. There was no sensation on my fingers that may have hinted as such. I put it down to being half asleep still, but I was rattled enough and awake enough to find that claim empty. Was Dean in trouble though? Sick maybe? Something to keep in mind for sure. I took one last look around the room before heading back to get changed for breakfast. The rest of the day passed as it had in the other timeline, but things started changing around dinner. So, no stew, right? I helped Orlando set the table. Supposedly Benton had been scarce enough to not do it for us, not that we really needed his help. Nope, there's leftover pizza still if people still want that. There's a few nice cuts of meat that, given the mushrooms, seem to be a good choice. I think Dean was looking forward to stew, although I'm not really sure. Well, he's just going to have to deal. That said, you guys got heaps of mushrooms, so maybe we can do stew tomorrow night. Did I hear someone say stew? We're back with mushrooms. Whoa, how many did you guys even get? Yeah, we sort of went overboard. Sorry. What they brought in was another whole basket of white mushrooms, and from how big the basket was, there were a lot. What are these? Oh, paddy straws. At least that's what Roswell reckons. Have to be careful though. Look almost the same as death caps if you aren't careful. I'm guessing they're pretty bad. That doesn't begin to describe it. Eating one puts you on maybe a very painful 6-hour clock. They're pretty bad, Dave. Can't even cook them to make them edible. Their poison will transfer across to whatever they're in. I looked again at the basket Dean was carrying, suddenly wondering just how sure Roswell was at making sure they hadn't picked up even one death cap by mistake. I wouldn't worry, Dave. Death caps smell pretty distinct, almost like cleaning chemicals, so you'd be hard-pressed to miss one. I caught a glimpse of Dean flashing me a confident smile before I nodded to Roswell. Alright, if you say so. Despite all the mushrooms that Dean and Roswell had picked, all of them seemed to be staying in the kitchen, as the chanterelles that Orlando had prepped had ended up in a platter between us all, with not another in sight. I had Dean on one side and Tyson on the other, but the wolf seemed content to dig into his steak without paying anyone else any mind. Dean, on the other hand... Have you had one of the mushrooms yet? Not yet, why? In one sweeping motion, Dean plucked one from the platter and held it towards my mouth. Oh, come on, you'll like it. I promise. The fact he was using his bare hands to feed me felt a little odd. I must have been caught up in the moment as I found myself opening my mouth, looking down the mushroom between Dean's digits. Well, not too hot, so it won't burn. Well, I promise you that much. Not like it's going to kill you. At the mention of that, I yelled suddenly, clamped my mouth shut, all the while aggressively knocking Dean's hand away, watching as the mushroom in his hand fell to the floor, the rest of the table going quiet. Did I do something wrong? I felt my heart pounding in my chest, remembering what I'd seen earlier. Dean, The image of him slumped over, lifeless, flashed in my head, and I felt a pang of sadness begin to well up. Or maybe it wasn't sadness, just relief seeing him still alive. Are you okay, Dave? Actually, maybe you'd benefit some from fresh air. Your eyes are going all weird. Dean stood up, gesturing me to follow, and as I did, Tyson grabbed me by the arm, giving me a hard stare, searching my face for a few moments before letting me go with a nod. I stepped cautiously around the mushroom on the floor and followed after Dean, looking back at the people still at the table. Most seemed confused. Orlando was in the middle of picking up the mushroom from the floor, catching my eye with a look of hurt as we left the dining room. Dean held the door open for me and closed it behind us when we were both by ourselves. So, want to tell me what I did wrong, or should I just start apologising? Because if it's about trying to feed you, I didn't mean anything by it. Well, I just thought it'd be... if I'm moving too fast, just let me know. Please don't be upset with me. I didn't mean... I sighed out, holding my arms, half hugging myself. Are you cold? I can give you my shirt if that'd help. Dean. Yeah? You aren't thinking of killing yourself, are you? Excuse me? You heard me. You haven't... Well, that's not a very nice thing to suggest, Dave. It also makes for a shitty joke. Why would you even ask something like that out of the blue? I don't know. When I went to the vault and messed around with it, Again, that image flashed in my head and I shut my eyes tight, trying to force it out of my head through sheer will. I thought I saw you dead. Poisoned, I think. What? I know it's dumb, but just please... Never. I would never. Distressing to think about, but... Well, damn, if we're being honest, I have too much to live for. Well, I'm not going to go all soppy saying I'm only living because I'm hoping to be with you. That's not fair on either of us, and would be a lie. Don't get me wrong, I'm almost certain my life is better with you in it. The more the better, I think, anyway. I can promise you this, though. This bear is 100% wanting to live. So, come here, you silly hyena, and give me a hug. I didn't really need to move. Dean took it upon himself to close the distance and squeeze me tight. It was a sweet, tender moment right up until I heard his stomach growl. Oh, right, I kind of flipped out, didn't I? To be honest, being a little hungry is okay on my end to make sure you're okay. Well, I'll settle for leftover pizza if there aren't any mushrooms left. Hang on. Did I wash my hands? Dean, really? You didn't wash up before dinner? Oh, sorry. Normally I do, especially important after foraging. Well, I don't know if I touched anything nasty out there. Roswell was doing most of the guiding, but there were some sticky mushrooms out there for sure. Sticky? Like you touched something sticky and didn't wash your hands? Well, it smelled weird too, but yeah. When we were coming back, I got caught up asking Roswell stuff. Must have just forgot. What could have been that distracting you were that distracted? Hey, let a bear have his secrets. Well, I'm sure you'll find out eventually anyway. We headed back, and when we got there I apologised to everyone before sitting down and keeping my gaze averted out of embarrassment for the scene I caused. Dean went to sit down before giving me a look and nodding, detouring to the kitchen, presumably to wash his hands. Tyson, sitting there picking his teeth with his knife, looked at me and quirked a brow. So you're going to tell me what that was about? Do I need to beat him up for you? Oh, no, not at all. Just, me being weird. Tyson gave me another hard stare before shrugging. Yeah, all right. Sure. Whatever, you weirdo. Oh, I'm starved. Dean sat down, eyeing off the meat he'd left behind when we went outside, pausing to turn to me briefly. Hands all clean, I promise. I was still on edge, though, keeping an eye on Dean as he ate merrily. The more I watched, the more I wondered the implication of what I'd seen in the vault. Had someone poisoned Dean at some point? Were they still going to? Even beyond that, why? Everyone else had left, with the exception of Orlando, who was cleaning up after dinner, but even he didn't linger. Presumably he was either going to do the dishes later or Benson had them covered. Dean, however, was now watching me carefully, visibly uncertain of what to say. So, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable leaving you alone just yet. You sure you're okay? Me? Should I be asking you that question? Oh, I guess, but I've already told you I'm fine, right? Just it bothers me that you'd think something like that. Did you want to talk about it? I don't even know. There isn't really much to say, really. I guess it was just a bad nightmare? Or daydream? No kidding. Still. Just know I'm not going anywhere, or don't plan to anyway. That does remind me, though. I need to go do something out in the greenhouse before turning in for the night, but... I was wondering if you maybe wanted to sleep in the same bed tonight. I don't want to take advantage. I was planning on asking when I got back from the woods and timing just made it hard. I'm fine either way, just throwing it out there. I found myself nodding, weighing it up. Yeah, that might be nice, actually. Unless you're talking about taking that step. I don't know, though. Well, you could if you wanted. No pressure. I'm just down to get some cuddling in. Honestly, with all the making out we've done, it'd just be nice to cuddle a bit. Cuddling does sound nice, yeah. Although I think I'm going to need a shower first. Oh, don't worry, I'm in the same boat. I don't think you need to be smelling me all sweaty after a day outdoors. I'll go finish up in the greenhouse and meet you upstairs. If you decide when I get there you don't want to, no problem. As Dean got up to leave, I grabbed him by the hand, giving him a hard stare. Everything all right? I won't be long. Go on. I let my hand fall away and Dean headed towards the backyard. I sat there for a few more moments before wandering upstairs and jumping in the shower. With the hot water falling on me, I started to feel better. Even just resting my head on the tiles made me realise how exhausted I was after a sudden whiplash of thought. What is wrong with me? Dave, you almost done in the shower? Yeah, almost done. Yes, whatever else he was doing in the greenhouse didn't take all that long. Although the thought of just stepping out in front of Dean, even with just a towel, made me nervous. Something about the context of being naked around Dean? It was hard to say. Well, I don't mind this view at all. I was dry, but still clung to the towel around my waist as Dean sat on my bed watching me carefully. What do I have to do to see you without the towel, though? Should I undress too? Just throw me some underwear or something so I don't have to hold on to the towel. Dean rolled his eyes and threw me the pair I put on my bed before jumping in the shower. He even did the courtesy of putting his hands over his eyes, but I could still see him peeking through the gaps between his fingers. Don't mind if I take my shower here too. It saves me going back to my room to do it. By the time I looked up, he'd already relieved himself of his shirt and pants. I also got this for you. He stepped closer, holding out a single-cut rose, presumably from the greenhouse. I took it from him carefully, staring at it and feeling my cheeks go red. As I looked at it, though, Dean wrapped his arms around me, tucking them under my waistband and grabbing my ass. So you hold on to that, and when I get out of the shower... He brought his mouth down to my ear, speaking softly in a lusty tone. Or maybe you'll show me the rest of your stripes. I tensed up suddenly, enough for Dean to pull back and look at me carefully. You doing all right there? Oh yeah, it's just, I haven't... Dean tilted his head at me as the silence lingered, the realisation hitting him suddenly after near a minute of waiting for me to continue. Wait, you haven't... at all? With anyone? I shook my head and Dean pulled his hands off my rear, taking a step back. Oh, wow. I don't know how this hasn't come up before, but I'm glad you told me. Well, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be your first, but I think maybe handling this a little slower would be good. You assumed I wasn't a virgin. You're kidding, right? Well, I'm surprised no one's been there yet with how handsome you are. I felt my cheeks flush again. That said, I think maybe spending the night apart might be better. I went to protest, but Dean held up a hand, continuing. This is more out of respect for you. I'm pretty riled up right now, and I don't think doing anything less than what you deserve from your first time is going to do us any favours. Oh, don't get me wrong, I want to go there, but I'm quite big, so it's not exactly something we can do really quick. But I'm very much in the spot where, given the opportunity, I would destroy you. In a good way, I guess. The sound of distant thunder rumbled from outside while Dean sheepishly composed himself. I'll tell you what, we'll pass on tonight. It'll give me a chance to blow off some steam and take a shower afterwards at my own pace. You can take some time to decide if this is what you want. Well, starting tomorrow, if you say you want it, well, alright. We'll find a time that works so we can make it special. That said, though, as long as we got this trial arrangement going, you're basically my boyfriend, and I'm going to cop a feel whenever I want. So long as it's appropriate, promise. Oh, alright. Dean wandered back over to the bed to pick up his clothes, not bothering to put them on. Looking at the state of his underwear, chances are people he'd pass on the way to his room might get the wrong impression of what went down while he was here. Still, he headed towards the door, reaching the doorknob before stopping himself, looking at me. Am I forgetting anything? Yeah. Where's my goodnight kiss? Alright you are. Better come get it then. I almost bounced over to where Dean was and threw my arms around his neck. He put his free hand on my hip, kissing me tenderly. Good night, Dave. Yeah, sleep well. For the briefest of moments, I thought he was going to say something else, but he waved it off before disappearing out the door. I looked at the rose he'd given me and revelled in the gesture. I was only guessing based on what Dean was saying and what I saw, but maybe he was right, it was better to hold off if I hadn't done it before. That wasn't said I didn't want it, or at least my attitude on it had shifted towards wanting it over the past couple of days. With the thunder rolling in overhead, I figured it was best to settle in for the night. As I lay on my bed listening to the thunder, my thoughts wandered. I could almost smell Dean's slightly earthy musk, mixed in with the honey-scented stuff he used either as cologne or as shampoo. It was quickly becoming a trigger, making me squirm on the bed that was far too empty without him next to me on it. I'd left the rose on the side table and looked at it fondly, realising the irony that quite soon I'd be giving up my flower up to Dean in some gross, romantically disgusting way. Which would be fine if he hadn't put the idea of getting hammered proper into my head. The longer I lay there, the more I noticed the faintest of background noise, seemingly coming from everywhere in the room, like the walls themselves were breathing. I rolled off the bed and stood in the middle of the room, trying to pinpoint the location of the sound. Where is that coming from? Hello? The sudden greeting made me jump. It sounded garbled, almost like they were putting on a fake accent. Who's there? Oh, it is good that we finally get to talk. Who are you? Me? An ally of sorts. I slapped my face, thinking I'd fallen asleep. The cameras are currently non-operational, but planting the microphones and speakers seem to be without issue. You bugged the room? Oh, to keep things simple, let's say yes. Immediately I started to search the room for the bugs. Please pay attention. I've come to warn you to deliver 2 messages. I stopped, listening for what the voice had to say. The first message is this. You and your friends are in grave danger. From who?
Truthfully, it is not that simple. The most I know is that there's someone inside, or at the very least nearby the mansion.
Oh, great. Come on, Dave, wake up.
Have I made you nervous? I did not mean to cause alarm.
After giving myself a few more slaps as a precaution, I was convinced I was awake.
Are you quite all right?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Just thoroughly creeped out that my room is bugged by some guy telling me I'm about to die.
What it is worth, I am truly sorry. The second...
No, hold on.
Hold in.
First of all, this is fucking insane. Second, why are you telling me? Third, what the fuck? The absurdity in my nerves was starting to get the better of me. That classic hyena snicker starting to punctuate how nervous I was getting over time.
Please understand, I do this only to warn you. I do not want to see people die. At first I did not think there was any real danger, until I saw you in the vault.
The vault?
I did not expect someone to get it to work, honestly. It was never meant to function at all.
I rubbed my eyes, tiredness catching up with me. Yeah, well, it was just a hallucination or something. I don't know.
A hallucination that saved someone's life.
The comment hung in the air while I moved back over to the bed, closing my eyes and trying to get some sleep.
The likelihood of you believing me is near 0%, I can tell.
I just want to get some sleep. Go talk to someone else.
Unfortunately, there isn't the time. I needed to relay these messages to you now before it happens again. After all, I know what you did.
And what did I do?
You saved a life. More than what I could accomplish with all the knowledge I've accumulated over the years.
I didn't save anyone.
Oh, really? Then I suppose reminding Dean to wash his hands was just goodwill. Either way, I could not send Benson without knowing what you saw.
Benson? He works for you.
He's my butler, of course he does. Although you'll find him a lot less of an ally than I can be currently.
I wondered just what Benson had been told or ordered to do. It was becoming more likely that he was the one that installed the bugs in my room. Well, all right, but what do I call you then?
That is difficult to answer.
Not even a code name or anything. There was nothing but static for a while before the voice came through again.
Oz.
What, like the Wizard of?
Is this acceptable?
Fine, whatever. Oz it is. You had a second message, right?
Oh, yes, correct. The second message was the motive for you to stay. Understandably, having your life at risk may cause you to want to flee, but I assure you this is a bad decision.
Give me one reason.
If you can make it through your time here alive, along with all your friends, I can consider it as a success. However, as it stands, the shadow of death lingers over at least one of your friends regardless.
It was sounding like this ally was suddenly a lot more malicious than he was letting on. What, if we leave, you're going to kill one of us?
Oh, no. That is what I wish to avoid. I cannot speak for who is behind this, however. It is merely what I have discovered. As a sign of good faith, I can arrange for a chauffeur to take you back home right now if you so wish. Or at the very least a publicly available taxi if you do not feel safe.
Huh?
I respect that this has come out of nowhere, and asking you to trust a disembodied voice claiming there is death in store for you and your own is near insanity. But please, trust in me.
I was in that strange state where I was tired, but awake enough for everything to start sinking in. What if? Seemed to be the one question sticking with me. What if we were all in danger? What if the only way to save my friends was to stay? But what if this person on the other side of the microphone was lying? What if they're the reason I had that gut feeling and vision of my friend's demise? I had a choice to make, stay or leave. If I left, I could guarantee at least my own life and a trip to the therapist afterward. But if I stayed, who knows what could happen. It all came down if I could trust Oz or not. Can we trust Oz? But if we stay, maybe we can help the others. But should we leave and get someone else to look into this? Okay, I'll stay.
This brings much relief, friend.
Well, what am I meant to do now?
I would suggest sleeping. I'll see what I can find out for you and relay it when I can confirm you're alone. It is best that, in case one of your friends is behind this, my intervention on their plan goes unnoticed.
So what, I'm supposed to doubt my friends?
Well, in the interest of being rational, no. It would make no sense for you to put everything you trust in me anyway. You'll need your friends to get through this.
And what if I need to contact you?
There should be no need. I promise that, assuming we can talk again tomorrow night, you can ask me as many questions as you like, and I'll do my best to answer.
You'll do your best?
I do not know everything, and nor do I wish to give myself away.
Fine. I'll have my questions ready.
Okay, well, sleep well, friend.
You too, I guess. But the only thing that greeted me was silence. Not even any background noise to say that the speaker was still broadcasting. Okay. Back to trying to sleep, I guess. No sooner had I laid my head on my pillow than the rain started to fall. Soon after that I drifted off to sleep. Hey.
Huh?
Is that you, Dean? Whatever time it was before dawn. My eyes took a brief moment to adjust to the lack of light, and I watched Dean close the door behind him, clad in only his underwear with what appeared to be clothes under his arm. What time is it? I yawned, making an effort to get up, but didn't get far before Dean was right before the bed. Oh, shh. It's all right. I'll lay back down. And in my sleep-addled mind, I did just that, rolling over to watch him walk around the bed and jumping the other side, scooting closer. Come here. I have a couple of hours still before the sun rises. This time he took the initiative of sliding an arm under my head and rolling me closer, so I was pressed up against his front. It was warm, and I found myself cuddling in to get comfortable, getting a hit of Dean's scent mixed with honey and cologne. You couldn't sleep? Shh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I just wanted to surprise you. I yawned, still not really understanding why he was here, but with the added warmth and the softness of his fur, I drifted into a state half between being asleep and being awake.
I thought you said...
I was struggling to get words out, yawning every couple of seconds.
No share a bed. Too fast.
Yeah, well... I felt him cuddle me closer, and despite my hands being stuck where they were when he rolled me over, I rubbed what I could reach. Well, I'm here now. I fell asleep soon after. When I woke next... Why am I wet? What? As my eyes adjusted to the mass of brown I was up against, I remembered vaguely what had transpired a few hours before. Oh, right. It still seemed early, so I rolled onto my other side to reach out for my phone, sliding it close to check the time. Good morning. After seeing it was just before dawn, I put my phone down just as Dean's arms found my side, and he pulled us closer together. The arm under my head reached around and rubbed my chest, while his other snuck from my hip to my belly once I was up against his front. What time is it? Early. The sun's not up yet. I yawned, settling back into the bulk of bear behind me. Mid-yawn, Dean nuzzled into my neck, causing me to gasp and squirm, making him chuckle sleepily. Sleep well? Yeah. It was nice having you next to me. A lot warmer than I'm used to, for sure. One of the perks of sharing a bed with someone. Once more he attacked my neck with his nose as my eyes adjusted to the room. I was about to ask him the same question, but the light nibbling on my ear caused me to gasp softly. As if that wasn't enough, Dean's hand ventured further down to cop a feel in time with him grinding against my rear. I figured he was well endowed, but given there was just 2 layers of fabric separating us, I got a good enough picture of just what he was packing. Comfy. My reply came in the form of a soft moan as he generally needed my morning wood. Well, it looks like someone has a problem, doesn't he? With the armour on my chest keeping me steady, he continued groping and rubbing, planting kisses at my neck, all the while grinding his own dick into my rear. Dean, In one motion he turned my head to the side and kissed me, hard and deep, adjusting my leg to hitch it over his own. It didn't last all that long. We made it very clear what would be happening. Both of us didn't have underwear on. You want me to stop? I'd gone from a sleepy stupor to almost whimpering in need in an instant, the point that I found myself shaking my head no before realising it. But all Dean wore was a tired of smug grin, and he shifted us both, so we were back to spooning more innocently. Oh, probably shouldn't have taken it that far. Oh, my bad. Well, we gotta stop for now, otherwise I'm probably going to hurt you. Well, at least I know just how big you are. Don't think with how much you were leaking was going to be good be enough for someone's first time, though. Oh, yeah, right. Well, I'm for sure going to need a shower to deal with that, as if the sweatiness wasn't enough. I was going to say, I woke up a lot wetter than I was expecting to. Dean laughed and rolled away to get out from his side of the bed. Well, does this mean you don't want to share a bed with me anymore? Well, no, it's not that. Yes, might have to get used to sleeping with no blankets or something to stop us overheating. Oh, if that's all you're worried about, then no problem. I can give you warm easy. Time for a shower, though. Gotta get clean and tend to business. Oh, right, yeah, gotcha. Offer's there to join me in the shower, but I feel like that's just going to be crossing a line we're not ready to yet, right? Right. Dean flashed me a sincere smile before heading towards the bathroom. You have trusted me this far. The moment you tell me you're ready, I'm taking you up on it. He disappeared into the bathroom and I heard the water in the shower start. Chances are he's going to be a while with how much fur he had to scrub, and given how much of it got on me, I probably needed one as well. And that's it for now. This is as far as Dean's route goes, Patreon and public at the moment. So when Grizz brings out another Dean update for the public, we'll pick things up where we left it and carry on with that. So while we're waiting for that, the next video we're going to go back a couple of days and pick up Roswell's route. So that's just where we decide who we're scavenger hunting with. That's that section. So we'll pick up Roswell and we'll run Roswell's through. And for those who may be wondering, now you've seen the mechanic of the passwords and how if you play password you know what you have to do to find that password, for the start at least. I'm going to just use them and skip over all that kind of stuff, so we won't see anyone else die in these sequences. And like I said in the comments on the last one, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to keep everyone alive. Yeah, Roswell will be next, and when we get to the end of his demo, we'll pick up one more route. So that's 3 routes I'm doing on videos, and 3 I won't do, so maybe Dirk the Red Panda or someone else will take up some of those, or you can just download Password and try those ones out for yourself. So follow Grizz to see what's going on and know when there'll be more Dean for you. And we'll join with Roswell next time. But until then, bye for now.